mid-December, and I'm very excited to be doing a live show with you today. We've been doing them very regularly, and as I always do, or as I've been doing recently, I post some questions on Facebook and Instagram. Didn't get many questions on Instagram. I don't answer all the questions on Facebook and Instagram. I got 24 questions in total, so I just kind of go through it. What I honestly do, guys, is I kind of pick and choose from new stuff because there's a lot of people that regularly watch this program, and I'm always trying to, I want to keep it fresh and new for not just for the people that keep viewing it, but also even for myself. I find this show to be very exciting, and I really enjoy doing this. So yeah, I have some really good questions. One of the questions on Facebook, actually, they're all these are from Facebook, is people talk about tree art, X's, the different kind of structures they put on the ground, and there's definitely a meaning to it, and I've been working that out over the years. But the truth is, I'm kind of gonna cheat a little and skip that whole process because the Sasquatch are telepathic, and when they leave behind, so this is not even, this is not paranormal. Telepathy is real. For those of you, I say this often, and I want to say this to everybody to make sure that I'm kind of slapping people in the face about this. Telepathy is real. Mind speak is real. Empaths are real. This is a factual, scientific truth. Now, when it comes to tracking, the best trackers in the world, they follow the energy the way a dog or a wolf or a bear follows scent particles. Those scent particles, empaths, or people that have the ability that are highly sensitive, can feel the energy of those scent particles that are left behind, and follow things. But in those scent particles as well, I have, actually, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I have definitive proof substantiated by multiple dog trackers or trackers that use dogs, that in the particles, the dogs are able to sense, like, as an example, when they're chasing a fox. Originally, they pick up the scent, and the fox has not been alerted to them yet. But literally, let's say at a mile from where the dog started, the fox hears the hound dogs and freaks out and runs off. Well, as soon as the hound dogs get to that 1 mile point, they're going roo 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 roo, and they turn it up. They turn it in a high notch when they get to that point where the fox actually flipped out and was aware that he was, kicked it into high gear to run for his life. How do they always know that? They don't follow the tracks. They're just smelling it. You think they could smell the fear? And the truth is they can't. But they can sense that energy in the particles that the fox is in emergency mode. They get that feel. So to answer the question about the X's and the structures, is I'm the Sasquatch leave that energy down there. I know that's what they do at the tree breaks. That's why a Sasquatch will come up to an old tree break that's years old and put his hands on it and touch it, because I believe he's accessing that information, that energy that was left in that tree break from the incident that transpired that caused the Sasquatch to make that tree break. Because tree breaks and structures and X's all are done for a purpose. And I believe the Sasquatch leave energy there in that object. And I don't believe that, actually. I've actually experienced it. I mean, you can watch the video from a couple weeks ago when I was in Washington State at the Sasquatch Summit. I went to a gentleman's property, and a Sasquatch had half an X there, and put a stick on the ground and jammed it into the ground. I looked at it. I saw that it was unnaturally put there, obviously jammed in there by a Sasquatch. Even it wasn't done by a person for sure, and obviously didn't fall naturally because it was jammed inside. Was, as soon as I picked it up, I had this energy, this urge to put it and slide it into this spot. And this is a complicated couple of trees together. And what happened was, one of the pieces that was jammed in like this, I made a perfect X. It was perfect. Like, you literally can see it in the video. And I'm telling you, the people that were there witnessed me do this, and I could feel the energy. I could feel it. Like, I don't know, you could say maybe the Sasquatch was in the wilderness a couple hundred yards away doing that. Or maybe it was the energy in the branch that I picked up, or in the ground. Or, and I also believe that the Sasquatch did that because he knew I was coming. So he left that for me to finish off that X. And that X is like, uh to me, what did it feel like? It felt like just a manner of communication between myself and the Sasquatch, and it was an incredible experience. And I have experiences like that very often, and so do my expeditioners, all of us. So that's what our goal is to skip the whole what does this mean in symbolic ways and feel into it. And that's how you meet a Sasquatch. That's how this discovery process moves forward. And that's how we awaken and move to the next level of human existence. That's how big this discovery is. So you think it's about, I say this all the time, you think this is about just the discovery of Sasquatch. It's not. It's about the awakening of mankind and ascending to the next level as the Sasquatch have. So I apologize if I'm getting too woo. No, I don't, because this is just the next level. I'm if you think I'm getting too woo and it's bothering you, I'm gonna have to leave you behind, and I have no sympathy for it. I will. I'm leaving. I've actually noticed a decrease in the watches of this live show, probably because people think I'm getting a little too out there, but I'm not. Not at all. This is science, guys. When they're teaching it in frickin' universities, like it's factual, repeatable science. And I don't know why so many people are resistant to shift that paradigm and accept the reality. And there's not one human being I've ever sat down with, and I've done it hundreds of times now. I could prove anybody has a certain level of empathic ability. And I'm becoming very, very empathic and reading into people and feeling into them. It's actually getting to the point where it's kind of scary. So I can literally I'll talk to people on the phone that are supposed to come on expedition with me. There's 5 new people that are coming out this year of the 30 expeditioners that are coming out. It's all kind of booked and signed up. I don't have Nia Bay done yet though, and I'm doing that in April of this year, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I got to figure that out. But I really like, there was. It's kind of shocking the way I can just feel into people over the phone, where I'm talking to them on the phone and they're expressing stuff to me, and I get images in my mind, and I can feel into what they're saying. It's pretty amazing. So I do that with Ashley a lot. So I'm literally like, and this is important too for people, like if you have a child or a wife or just somebody who's close to you, you can really like Ashley will explain something to me, and her words will kind of not be so clear, but I understand her because her words kind of guide me in the feelings and the emotions that she's projecting to me and that I'm feeling. And that's incredible. And that's the ascension that humanity is moving up to the next level. And this is really important stuff, guys. And that's what you need to do to, what does this have to do with Sasquatch? They're telepathic, they're empathic, they have precognition, they remote view, all that stuff. They've been doing that for, I don't know, probably thousands of years. They're so far ahead of us. It's pretty impressive. So, uh, why don't I go back to the spot where and get shots of where I have the facials? Well, well, I can tell you. So the Jane spot, I'd have to go way back country. It would take me days to get there, and I may do that. Same thing with the Jake spot. Kubota, yeah, Kubota. I could get to that spot, but I don't think it would be advantageous. Each of the circumstances were completely different, unrelated, because literally in completely different spots. As an example, Kubota, that incident happened because I ran out of the research site. I was jogging, and they were keeping up with me because they followed me out of the research site. And I turned around and went back when I got a cue to where they were, kind of being a jerk, right? So I was focused, get out, get out, get out, be fast, be fast. And I heard a sound, and I whipped around and went back, which I'm not supposed to do. It I've never done before. It was a new behavior I'd never exhibited to them before, ever. So all they ever knew was when I start trucking out, cruising like a nice jogging speed, I maintain that, and I don't turn around. And I was holding up, and I was waiting up for that day to do that. So the Kubota site is reachable, but no point in getting there. That was just a coincidence that happened there. That was the spot where, you know, I just heard something that cued me to turn around. If you watch the documentary, you can see it in there. So favorite Bigfoot memory? I can't even. Oh my god! Just there's so much. I couldn't even. I was I guess the last cool thing that happened on the last expedition was pretty cool, where um a Sasquatch was particularly interested in a certain person, and this one person only heard the tree break. The tree break was made on his side of the fire, just loud enough where he could hear it and nobody else could. And then the next day, he was at the back of the group of there was four of us in total, and he was at the back of the group, and we all walked past the tree break, and he stopped and looked at it. So they were literally uh, controlling that situation, so he would find these things, and they could, you know, segue him to specially notice that stuff. And I hope you understand, guys. Like I don't, for me to walk past a tree break, I don't do that. I literally felt like they were messing with my head. I didn't feel it. I could literally, I literally know they were making my head kind of wander off into something else. And I was looking on them and thinking on them and not paying attention to the tree break that I walked right past. And I'm sure they did it with the other expeditioners too. So just incredible stuff like that to me, guys. It's so incredible to see stuff like that. So, um, a gentleman asked me, so I've been to the Adirondacks of New York, thoroughly enjoyed it there. They asked me what I thought about the Sasquatch concentrations there, and I wouldn't even be able to. Just they're there. There's a group of Sasquatch there, probably multiple groups, and that's like serious biology stuff. I would. The one thing that would be kind of a quick and easy answer to that Jeff Meldrum proposed, and I really like, is black bear concentrations, because black bears are going to have very similar diets to the Sasquatch. They're very predatory. They'll eat the deer, mostly. But if there's an abundance of fish, if there's an abundance of berries and food sources to eat, the Sasquatch will have that abundance as well. So if there's high concentrations of black bears, then you'll likely that's what I would go with. It's my favorite ever, because also black bears seem to, like, they're not grizzly bears in spots. They're not wolves in certain areas. There's often mountain lions. They're pretty prolific, but mountain lions are entirely predatory, and black bears would have a similar diet to a Sasquatch. So I think that's the most brilliant way to really get an analysis of the Sasquatch potentially being in the area, and then population, right, based on how many black bears can survive there. Because also black bears will generally stay away from cities and towns, right? So they're really a wild animal, and they do well in the wilds. They don't do so well when they're around people. So this has been coming off to me a lot, and I don't want to start bashing anybody, because I just got to be careful what I say here, because I don't want to slag on anybody. But there are other uh, Bigfoot people that are talking about some things about Sasquatch that really I don't like. For example, I saw recently, so this nose, the hooded nose that we have, is the same nose in the Patterson footage, the same nose in every authentic piece of Sasquatch footage I've ever seen, and also in all of my footage. It's a hooded nose, not the indented nose like a chimpanzee in a grill, which is very important. It's an aquatic nose. It's very different. So I don't like it when I see that. But so I think that's totally the Adrian Erickson nose on the famous Sasquatch. There's a Sasquatch. It's a very famous one. It's got that indented nose, and I know it was Adrian Erickson who had that initially paid for that sculpture to be done, and he was kind of away when the finishing pieces were done. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done the indented nose, but he kind of made it very popular in pop culture. It's completely incorrect. There's just no way there's such a thing as that. And that goes into the next question: is are there multiple types of Sasquatch? Absolutely not. Like, there's just no way. You know, there's black bears are bigger as you go north. Same thing with deer. I saw a deer in Texas, man. I thought they were big dogs, but they're whitetails. Like, those are deer, clearly deer. But what you'll get smaller deer in larger concentrations, and the species will be more aggressive, especially amongst themselves. And those are universal rules. So if you see a Sasquatch in Florida, Texas, those kind of areas, they're going to be smaller, uh, you know, more adapted to hotter temperatures with, thinner hair, and probably more aggressive, and in more abundance where they can be in more abundance. So, because I don't know how the hell Sasquatch survive in certain areas. They do so amazing, but actually, I guess I do. When you're telepathic and empathic, and you can feel people coming in around you and understand their intent, that is the most incredible natural advantage. Like, the natural advantages that species have, like the sense of smell, uh, visual, hearing. I mean, it's absolutely spectacular how well animals can hear and move and that sort of thing. But those sensory perceptions will be infinitely eclipsed by by extrasensory perception, ESP, or telepathy, like infinitely. and, and then another question about Jane Goodall, and also I think she didn't mention Diane Fossey, but just is that the kind of research we're doing? My answer is hell yes. Diane Fossey, Jane Goodall, and Bertie Gattagus are heroes of mine. I absolutely follow and have worked under what they built, and I consider this to be an extremely similar situation. So I'm hoping that because it's also Jane Goodall, Diane Fossey, and Bertie Gattagus, you might notice they're all women, and that's why I've been really fighting for years, to make sure that I get that female perspective, and why I'm so immensely grateful that we have Ashley now in this discovery process. And there's lots of other women that are doing it, that I've seen at the Washington Sasquatch Summit I was at, and that's fantastic and great. I love that. I I wish them all tremendous success, and it's very it's a long story, and we're not going to get into that right now, but quite obvious to me why women have had such tremendous success in this discovery process. So Ashley just sent me a text saying, "Get your button gear and start answering some of these amazing questions here." Hi, Todd. Paul from Oregon made contact with Chris on Facebook. Oh, Paul! So Paul is one of my new expeditioners. I'm very excited to have him. He's this even guys. I can't like. I literally I go down to the Sasquatch Summit. No, this is just these things aren't a coincidence anymore. And the Sasquatch Summit's very south, and I was hoping to get some people up from Oregon because I lost some contacts in Oregon, and Oregon has such tremendous success. And then Paul Freeman's son, Michael Freeman, was there. Paul Freeman had ridiculously incredible success in Oregon, right? So especially northern Oregon. And then I come home and I get these urges and these pushes, and I'm start looking around, and boom, Paul pops up from Oregon, and now he's signed up. He's in. It's on, and it's awesome to see. So Paul's saying he made contact with Chris. Chris is an expeditioner from last year. We just spoke with a couple of days ago. Oh my God, like so working on his telepathy, his mind speak. He's doing so well. Can't wait to learn from you, team, and mountain giants out there. That's awesome. And James will probably be on here today. Paul, sorry, I have the I think I have the 100-day cough. Wow, these sicknesses are just kicking my butt. But greetings from from the Swiss Alps. So we're totally international here. Hello from Texas. Hello, Marvin. Been waiting, Todd. Hello from Ontario. Look at this. We're all over. There's James Penner. James, meet Paul. I also sent. I got you guys set up. So James. Wow, James jumped into this work with me with both feet. Literally, it was just amazing how he just dove on board and came after this like a pit bull, and has become uh, an enormous part of this collaboration in the discovery of Bigfoot. And also, I just like to say it was exciting to me too about someone like James and Ashley and Kyle and Jason, and it just goes on and on. Stefan, Matt, all these amazing people. Is we could literally these people have so much knowledge, and knowledge in a very specific way, that I could literally have a Discovering Bigfoot seminar and travel around with it. Like, how awesome is that? Like, people that have had such good success and such good experiences. And James has a photograph, for goodness sake, a blurry photograph that we don't really talk about. But he walks around. Isn't it on your phone, James? You just walk around with it. Hey, you've seen a Bigfoot? Yeah, I got a photograph. Which is just awesome. So, question from citizen scientists: have you noticed any obvious connection between Sasquatch and other animals, i.e., crows, coyotes? Thank you for all your good work. Oh man, what a good question. They go silent. Hmm. But anything else is just speculation. Oh no, I've seen lots. Gosh, I've seen lots. I believe this is kind of absolutely nuts. But I believe in Montana, there were some sick cave systems in there that I was working on. But in Montana, where I was at, the area was like, there's some like, spots where people can go in parks off, but most of it was owned. They run cattle like crazy in Montana, if you know it. So you can't go onto a lot of these areas. And so I didn't, but there were cave systems I couldn't get onto that. I don't know. I had a feeling, and I had people telling me like there's bodies and there's Sasquatch in there. One day, we saw a coyote that was running with what looked like a human leg bone. It was a huge piece of a femur, is what it looked like, running, and this Sasquatch chased after him. Like I couldn't believe it. And this, when you ever seen a coyote, he was moving a little slower because of the leg bone that he was carrying, but man, he was trucking. Like, he was just giving her. And we saw this Sasquatch chase him down and literally kick the back legs out from the coyote and just kind of give him a ass whooping and took the bone. So I thought maybe that coyote got into a Sasquatch grave or something. But I've seen crows not stay away from apples. Like literally, I know there was a Sasquatch there. I could feel him. So I left apples. The Sasquatch wants the apples, and I got away. Let's say about 150 yards, safe enough for the crows to go in after the apples, and they wouldn't. They were there. They wanted those apples badly. They wouldn't touch them because there was a Sasquatch around, and they were not having it. So, and uh, yeah, just little things like that. Probably quite a bit, but really like the forest gets quiet often when they come around. I've really noticed that. And so have my expeditioners. When we go out there playing Marco Polo when they're tree knocking and we're following them around, man, the forest is silent. Like the squirrels don't chirp at us, the birds don't make any sounds. So, but I'll keep that. That's such a good question. I feel like I could probably delve more into that. But yeah. Hello, Chris. Thanks for tuning in today. Some say they're not telepathic, but use ultrasound. Yeah, they do use, uh, was it infrasound? They'll knock you out with infrasound, but they're totally telepathic, which makes it look like telepathy. Absolutely disagree with that. What do you think about that theory? I absolutely couldn't disagree with you more. I have so much experience with telepathy. It's so next level. There's no arguing anymore. So they will literally, they're so good at being telepathic that they will literally read into somebody, like let's say Doug's over here. They'll read into Doug and then they'll communicate to me what Doug wants and what Doug's feeling. Doug and I can't communicate, but the Sasquatch can read him and then project to me. They're so powerful at reading and projecting that they become this conduit between the two of us, it just happened so many times. And then even people are getting images. Like, how can you explain this? So, dude from California comes out. There's a tree break on the road. For some reason, I've been resistant to. He goes, I've seen this tree break. Well, dude, you're from California. You're up in the northern Canada in the hella middle of nowhere. You've never been there before. And there's the guy from Australia is with us. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He can't believe this is happening. So this dude comes up. I've seen this tree break. There's a track right over here. How does he know that? Because they mind spoke it to him, because they were using telepathy. They were remote speaking with them. And this has happened dozens of times, ladies and gentlemen, over and over. This was like the 10th time, and I was like, I'm done. Like, they're doing this. Like, this is clear. Because he got out and saw the tree break and saw the track, and he said, there's another tree break up over here. Again, he's never been there. The other tree break was beyond his visual ability, my visual ability. We had to walk 60 yards in dense bush, and boom, there was no tree break. And he talked about, he says, a smaller tree break, and it pointed this way, and there it was. He'd seen it all. They did that for him. They literally broke those trees, mind spoke to him, because they knew he was coming. I mean, it's literally that level. There's I can't sit here and be inauthentic with you guys. I have to tell you the truth. This is what's happening. I see this over and over. So telepathy is, I've been convinced of their telepathy for years. And I'm way beyond that. I'm going next level, like remote speaking, precognition. I've experienced all this stuff, even I'm theorizing, and I strongly believe they can use telekinesis, which is the ability to move objects, perhaps maybe break trees with telekinesis. So, and I have significant evidence of this that'll be coming up soon. So, oh my God, like it's just so next level, guys. It's clearly telepathy and beyond. Once you become telepathic, and this is spirituality, guys. So once you become telepathic, you can remote view, remote speak, become empathic, and then telekinesis and precognition all kind of come into play. And these are powerful facts and clearly things that the Sasquatch are completely doing. Hello, John. Hello, Turtle Parts from Idaho. Jerry, I believe you. Merry Christmas. Thanks for tuning in today. Boom, says James. Boom is the Sasquatch. Paul, have you ever been to a live show before? Paul, welcome. This is your first time. Good evening, Todd. What are the Adirondacks did you witness of Sasquatch? Thanks for all you do. Um, it's supposed to be in the documentary. I hope it'll be in the documentary. I'm trying to work that out. But a female Sasquatch got within like 40 yards of us. She was rock knocking and tracks and tree breaks and significant mind speak. It was just absolutely amazing. But and what's cool too is the tree breaks and the structures and the tracks that we saw are all the same. They're doing the same things, like so much stuff that I've noticed. It just all these habits that I noticed that Sasquatch do. Like for example, it's in the Adirondacks thing. When a log is down and there's all those branches up, a Sasquatch will walk along log and bust those branches off as he's walking along. And then we actually found a trackway from a Sasquatch. Imagine, so the branches are broken in here, and then they're not here. What happened is there's a track right here where he jumped off. So he's walking along, he's breaking the branches off, jumps off, and boom, we find a track based on the knowledge and experience I have of them doing this. In fact, the way they walk when they're up on a log, I saw that on an eagle cam, Bigfoot eagle cam that I did a review of a few years ago. That's why I believe that footage is real, because he looks like he's walking along like I've seen them walk on logs, kind of like having fun, like very playful. So, because the Sasquatch do that, they are very playful. Hello, Daniel. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, Todd. I'm wondering if you've ever considered communicating with them through the sound hertz frequency, like through a device that can use energy of sound to form words. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I'm just working on mind speak stuff, and mind speak telepathy is uh, it's a very different way of talking and communicating, very powerful, and it's just something that's totally new. And I could do I could do 20 shows on it. It's just it's this huge husbandry that I'm working on, and it's a discovery process. It's as much of the discovery process as Sasquatch. How do you get into that? Well, I do the Jose Silva method. So this is one method that I'm working on. It's Jose Silva, pronounced Jose Silva. So, and he's got an excellent. There's a like over an hour video that goes into this a lot on YouTube that you can get for free too. But there's lots of people that do this. So I'm not going to start naming off names and stuff, but it's just it's really out there. And you know, we have experimental telepathy thing that was on my website for a while. We're calling it experiential telepathy. It's where you share an experience with somebody who can receive what you're communicating. So amazing, amazing stuff. We got Bigfoots out here in Lake Elsinore, California. That's awesome, John. Bigfootencounter@gmail.com if you'd like to send us some information, because I would love to hear about it. Anybody who has information about a Sasquatch, it's Bigfootencounter@gmail.com is the email. Good evening, Todd. Hello, Melanie. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Sherry. Kentucky. Man, all the way down to Kentucky. That is so cool. Andy, thank you so much for tuning in and watching over the show for us. Really appreciate it, my friend. Hello, Todd from Elwood City, Pennsylvania. Woo, not Transylvania, Pennsylvania. Dave says, I'm interested in being a volunteer. Do you have anything that would need help with? Not looking for money, just want to be on the team. Oh God, as I expand in the years, but right now, whew, I just take out expeditions. I'm like it's so hard for me to do that. It's so much work, and expansions have to be done. But so let me see how it goes for 2024. We need an explosion. I need to do some media. I need something major to happen, and it's really, I'm working and doing everything I can, but just take it step by step. So I'm the man who takes people out in the wilderness and has them either live interact with or eyewitness a Sasquatch. That's what I do. I've literally got nearly 100 people now that I've had that kind of success with. And a third of them have eyewitnessed a Sasquatch, and probably 50 or more have had some kind of incredible live interaction. So, my numbers speak for themselves, and that's never going to stop. I'm just going to keep growing. I am a full-time Sasquatch researcher, and that's never going to change. I will be a full-time Sasquatch researcher for the rest of my life. I'll make YouTube videos and do little documentaries for Netflix and Warner Brothers and Amazon, and and take people on expedition. And I mean, I have such an amazing life, and I'm so grateful for Sasquatch for having chosen me, which literally they chose me, and 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 interact with me and do all these great things. Because without them, I'm just a student of theirs, and I'm so immensely grateful that I was chosen to do this, and I'm excited to expand and build this discovering Bigfoot cooperation so significantly, which is happening. Hi, Andy. Hope you're well. This is Daniel Herring. John Anderson, excuse me, Andy. People are talking. My first big movie happened today. Things are in storage. What? My first big move happened today. Oh, okay, cool, Andy. Citizen Scientist has another question. What will it ultimately take to have Sasquatch on cover of Time Magazine, National Geographic? Oh my God. I don't. I. If one starts sitting down on a regular basis with us, if we get to that point of Jane Goodall, Diane Fossey's success, where we can just walk in on a group, or the group can walk up to us and we can sit down with them, stuff's going to change, right? But they're no gorilla. No disrespect to that incredible species. They're no chimpanzee. No disrespect to that amazing, brilliant, fantastic, incredible species. There's a reason that Sasquatch has not been discovered. That the best trackers in the world, like me, get our asses handed to us by them if we try to compete with them. You can't verse them. So with the amount of technology, I went out there with a $10,000 drone, the latest piece of technology, DJI thermal drone, incredible piece of technology. Nope, it was nowhere near what I was hoping for. I just had a conversation with one of my favorite colleagues just a couple weeks ago. He's like, "Man, I thought that was open and close. I thought that drone was going to smoke it for you, and so did I." And now I've realized after working with it, if I got the most amazing piece of thermal footage from the drone, even some 4K footage from up in the air, it's not going to be better than what I've done before. It's just not. It's just going to be video 10, video 11, video 12. It's that is not going to be enough. The thermals that I get from the air, and any video that I could get with those thermals from the air, is not going to be enough. What's it going to take? I siphon between being the guy who's looking for the one, right? Looking for that amazing human being that'll sit down with the Sasquatch and have that repeatable experience that we can do, or being the one. So who's going to sit down with the Sasquatch and have those incredible experiences? Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, 100% I put in this. I put into this everything I have, monetarily, time wise. Like I'm devoted to this. All the money that gets donated and that comes back to this that I work for goes for the research. I've found a way actually to go do research, film it, and make money from the filming of it, and do the research while I do the research and make the discovery process happen. It's this wonderful miracle of YouTube, social media, movies, and people like so many of you that are just such amazing, fantastic supporters, and I'm so grateful. And this is never going to stop. I literally I don't even know what to do with the enormous amount of people that I don't even tend to contact this year that have applied for expedition. Like I'm full, and it sucks to have to say no, but I'm gonna have to. I'll just keep figuring out. I'm gonna find a way that I can take these people out and do these expeditions, but I don't really have an answer for right now because it's just it's just we're just taking it step by step. So believe me, it's a conundrum I'm working on it, and I'm not happy about it. It would be scary, not sure when things are coming around you from. It would be, but I certainly don't feel that way. I'm very comfortable in the wilderness. I'm very comfortable when Sasquatch come around. I'm, and I manage bears, I manage mountain lions. I'm happy to bump around with the wolves or elk or deer or all the other species out there. Day and night, I'm very comfortable. I do night walks in the dark backcountry wilderness with expeditioners that are agreeable to go give that a try. So I love the wilderness. I'm so comfortable there. I've spent so I'm actually doing the math, ladies and gentlemen. I'm approaching 2,000 days of backcountry wilderness experience. That's how much I'm literally at. I'm at half a century. I turned 50 this year, and I'm literally next level. Where in this current ecology, I am a leading expert in the world. It doesn't matter. I don't care how much book studying you do. I do. Believe me, I love theories. I love books. I got primate ecological behavior right here. I got we study edible plants, and there are things like I've literally have to admit I've been extremely unimpressed with alleged wolf experts, for example. I mean, like a PhD who gets a PhD in wolves, he'll know about their digestive tract and how their intestinal tract works. They don't know how their paws are sized for winter, how they move and stay endurance powerful. They don't know that they're a keystone species and why. And it's just like the theory of it. If For those of you who understand the difference between theory and practice, the theory of the drone was incredible and amazing, and everybody was like, you know what? I was pretty ignorant about it, and people that are out there saying, "Well, that should have done it," you have no idea. I am an expert with that drone. I have done hundreds of missions with that drone in the backcountry wilderness, literally, like 10 expeditions, you know, 70 days plus 80 days this year in the bush with that drone on daily flights with that thing. It's not going to work. The theory of it was all magical and wonderful and sha-la-la. And I went out there as a wilderness expert. And I'm telling you, it's never going to be even close. I'll be an interesting story for a couple months if I come back with incredible 4K footage with the drone and thermal images to go with it. And that's it. So I am boots on the ground. I understand how bears work and move, and wolves and mountain lions, and I've really like I do the theory. I do study these animals. I do understand how they eat and how their digestive tract works and what the metabolism is and their ability to move and jump and speeds. I see all that and I study that theory. But when you apply it in a practical way, it's just next level. It's such next level. And and I see that with these theorists, they're arrogant, and they shouldn't be because they're mostly incompetent. They have no knowledge of. I remember talking to a wolf expert who's been studying wolves, a PhD, yada yada. He's like, they're really scared though. Like he's got some in captivity. They're so flighty and scared. They must do terrible in the wilderness. I go, huh? They're the apex species, dumbass. What? Oh no, a bear would kill them. No man, a wolf pack. A wolf pack could eat bears. I've seen them. I've seen two wolves eat cubs from a female sow. And he thought, oh no, they're too timid. Yeah, these are captive wolves that probably, I don't know, this is not real wolves. These wolves are in captivity. They're nothing like the wolves I see out in the wilderness. The wolves I see out in the wilderness, anytime there's a carcass that gets dropped, they eat. Oh, it's a grizzly bear. Cool. Wait till the pack comes. See who wins. The bear will rip a chunk off and run for his freaking life, get his ass torn off if he doesn't get out of there quick enough. So just the difference is just there. It's, I'm speechless when I talk about the difference between the theory and the practice of it. So it scares me. So even like it's like there was a primatologist from NYC, New York University, who did a radio show with me. I had to take him off the show. It was embarrassing him. This guy's got like he's not just a PhD, he's a professor of he's a primatologist professor. And he was incompetent when it came to the reality of what gorillas do. And I've never seen gorillas. But I work with Sasquatch and understand the theories and how that pertains to gorillas like boots on the ground. And he was just like was so incompetent about ecologies and plants and survival ability and cold weather. And I just shook my head. I'm like, oh my God, like you're just incompetent. Go back to your damn books and hope they work out for you. Because boots on the ground is just a whole another level, guys, honestly. So thank you, Denise. Gave me a wonderful compliment. I can't always get to your live shows, but still admire dedication and work. Thank you, Denise. Well, you can always get to them later. Daniel's saying hi, talking to Andy. I love it when you guys have your own conversations. That's fantastic. Can you mind speak to them and ask them to let you film them and help the process move forward? Yeah, and it's not working. So I'm doing everything I can. So can we get a close up of your awkward? Can we get a close up of the award behind you? I don't have an award. It's just this is a bronze of a Sasquatch. Isn't it gorgeous? It's, I've had to move a few times recently. That this is a hand supposed to be. Isn't it gorgeous? I don't mind talking about this because this is the nose I was talking about. See, it's a hooded nose. It's so important um, for the use of aquatics because a hooded nose, when you go underwater, it doesn't go back into the nasal cavity. And a gorilla and a chimpanzee, no water goes on their nose; it goes right in. They can't go underwater. And I find this to be extremely accurate. Look at the back. Look at even I've seen a Sasquatch from the back. It looks very similar to that. The way you can barely see the head on top. I can I can see shoulder muscles like that, right? Like this is just probably one of the best sculptures I've ever seen. A gentleman, I think he's former military, makes these, and he's on my Facebook page. I don't talk about it enough. Isn't that gorgeous? Though it's just so spectacular. I love this thing. Even look at there's a foot. Oops, where's the foot? There it is. Isn't that cool? See the foot there? That's I mean that is just we. It's reverse engineering the foot. I don't know how he did it, but I've seen the Sasquatch feet, and that's what it looks like. It's so awesomely accurate. I just love that photo. My neighbor told me a story when he was 17 in 1965. He and a friend had an intimate encounter with a female Bigfoot well on back while on backpacking trip up north. What do you mean? And this is filthy McNasty. We'd love to hear the story in its entirety at bigfootencounter@gmail.com. Please, we'd love to hear it. How's it going? Hello, David. Thoughts on Neff? Is that Nephilim? I don't know anything about that. So, thoughts on Neff from Sasquatch, Ontario? I don't know what that means. What's Neff short for? Neff is fake. Sorry. Oh, is that the is that fake piece of footage from Sasquatch, Ontario? Yeah, it's fake. Sasquatch, Ontario is a fraud. He's a fake. I've known it for years. I didn't say anything publicly. He's exposed himself, and there's no need for talking about him. The salt and pepper sabe. What does that mean? It sounds funny. Do you recognize any of the three that you saw recently, or were they new faces? Yeah. Wow. Hmm. No, no, I didn't. This is a hard question for me because on the day that I saw three Sasquatch, the one that was closest to me, I mean, he's been interacting with us. Like I've felt him many times, and when I saw him, he felt familiar. So I feel like I've seen him before, but I haven't. So no, I never saw the one that was close, and the two that were off in the distance. Yeah, I haven't seen them before, but I know the breaks. Like I literally, gosh, I never really explored this, even with Ashley. I don't really want to talk about the two in the background. So those two Sasquatch were there for Ashley, and yeah, there's a lot, and I probably shouldn't be talking about. So I guess Ashley and I are gonna have to have a conversation privately before I start talking about this publicly because we never talked about that, did we, Ashley? I expect she's watching this, and yeah, there's more to talk about. What a good question, man! That's just really kicked me in the nuts, didn't it? So that's James McDonald, man. That's an awesome question. So it's funny how you can go into a situation like that and take years to break it down and get more detail of it. And will I see those Sasquatch again? And but for me, even I guess I don't know if I've talked about this or not, but the one of the lessons maybe I haven't is one of the most powerful lessons. Probably just this week I figured it out that the Sasquatch are trying to get through to me is Be authentic. And what does that mean? It means be honest, be truthful, and be authentic to yourself. And I've done research on this week. It kind of bumped for me. And I've seen that the most powerful frequency a human being can emit when they're at their most powerful is not love. It's not, trust. It's not protection. It's authenticity. It's when you're being authentic. This makes so much sense to me. So much sense to me. It's like we all, the truth is, we all have a frequency by design, right? The universe, God, Allah, I don't know what you call it. Uh, we are built, we have a design. We have a specialized fingerprint that doesn't look like anybody else. We have specialized goals and dreams and personalities. Everybody's very unique. And and I know that's because we have a design, we have a destiny. And when you're oscillating on that frequency of authenticity of your destiny, you're going to go to what you need to do. You're going to achieve your design. You're going to get to your place and beyond even faster. We only have so much time, right? So I saw a video from David Goggins talking about that, where it's like, he could have been a fat guy that was a cockroach exterminator, or he could be David Goggins, the guy who got things done and fought and Navy SEAL and guest speaker, and changed the world significantly. New York Times bestseller, like made a big difference because he was being authentic, because he got on that frequency of his design. And we all need to do that. And that's what Sabe did specifically with me, is I know who I am and I know what I'm supposed to do. And at 50 years old, I sat there in front of Sabe as Ashley watched, and I said, is this what you're trying to ask of me? Is this what you want? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Is this who I am? And I know who I am. I know what I'm supposed to do, but go be authentic. Do you understand that? Are you listening to me? Because now I'm talking to you. Oh yes, you. Are you being your true authentic self? If that perplexes you, if you don't know that answer, you should damn well figure it out. Who are you authentically designed to be? What's your purpose? And how do you figure that out? Go pray, go talk to God, go speak with the universe, go meditate on it. Figure it out. Silence those paradigms and those thoughts, become innocent and pure, and listen to the message that the universe, that God, that Allah, that whatever you want to call it, is projecting to you what your design is, and be authentic. And you will be more powerful. You will succeed. You will be so successful when you are truly your authentic self. And those are the people that I work with. Those are the people, like Ashley told me after I met her, because she was so impressed with the people that I work with. And she told me your vibe affects your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And I have all these amazing people around me. I don't even take out crappy people on expedition anymore. Every expedition this year, there wasn't one person that we didn't have incredible chemistry between me personally and them. Every single person I took out this year, I had incredible, amazing chemistry. I changed their lives and they changed my life. Like that's what's going on these expeditions. And I try to talk about that on the videos of expeditions, and I try to express that there's, even I was talking to Chris just recently, like what we do and what we go through. It's like, how men will go to war and they'll have this bond, this battle bond that's really powerful. We do that, just take out the war. you know we go into this spiritual, you know struggle of our own humanity, and test ourselves and push ourselves to the next level. Literally, I tell people, get all your affairs in order, be the best you that you've ever been, come out as a 10, and you'll go home a 14. And what does that mean? Connecting with nature, connecting and getting your peace and your time. What'll happen is you come out at the highest level you're capable of, and this expedition will take you home and take you up to a brand new level you didn't even think was possible. And that's what's happening with every single person. There's been no exception this year. Everybody went home just next level, without exception, not one single person. And it's an incredible thing to see. Ps, I'm really worried about your cough. That's persistent. Just don't worry about it, guys. It'll go away eventually. So uh is his friend Dwayne the cottage owner? I don't know what that's talking about, Andy. Do you think animals follow Sasquatch through the wilderness? Oh, I wouldn't think so. I don't think the Sasquatch would like to be followed by animals. Follow them? What do you mean by follow them? Hmm. No, I don't think so. Have you seen Jane or any of the others that you've seen past lately, or are they all new ones? So I talked about this at the beginning, I think, a little bit. Jane and Kubota are still out there, and Jake's been gone for. No, I guess I didn't. I answered that question. um, yeah. So Jane and Kubota are still out there regularly, and yeah, and then the new ones. They're not new ones. They've been around. I don't you know we don't we'll get a lot of sightings every year. Out of the 30 people that come out, you know, what do we have, like 6 sightings this year? I don't have the stats or anything, but um yeah, it was good. But the interactions with evidence, I don't know. I just I'm gauging things very differently. Success is like on the first expedition, the Alberta Boys expedition, the Sasquatch are coming around so much and things were going so great. And then at the end of the expedition, I was like, oh man, I'm a little disappointed we didn't get a sighting because things were so close. And all 3 of them looked at me and says, I didn't want to see a Sasquatch. And I was like, what? You came out with Todd standing and you didn't want to see a Sasquatch? Like, yeah, I didn't want to see a Sasquatch, man. And when they were coming around and I could feel them, I was terrified and I didn't want to see one. I was like, oh, so you're just getting what you asked for, right? So, and I see that so much, and that's why the Sab are such good teachers. Can you try to focus more on answering more of the important questions that we're seeing on here? Seem to be getting missed. Thank you for your advice. So, please subscribe, says Andy. 432 videos. Oh my God, that's a lot of work. Hello, Kim. Kim, we got to talk. Got stuff going on. So Kim has one of the people that came out on expedition this year and had tremendous success. So um, Congo jungle is most likely to have a Bigfoot. John Bitternagel told me there was Sasquatch in Africa, which blew my mind. But he told me 100% there are Sasquatch in Africa. Cheetah projections: Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana. Oh yeah. What are you talking about, Kim? Oregon, Washington. You mean you drove through? Are there Sasquatch in all those places? Yeah. I'd say yeah. World Creations. Hello. Shamala, look, peace to you, Todd, Ash, Andy, the rest of the Sasquatch family. Hello, Royal. Thanks for tuning in. Am I behind on the questions? There are a lot more. Let me just have a. Oh my God, just kind of scooting down. Holy crap! That's why Ash was giving me heck. There's a lot of questions. Okay, I kind of just ripped down there. Hey Todd, a bit of an uncomfortable question, but how do you discover your research site and what drew you to it? Hmm. I don't know. I mean, I found an area that was remote. Um, I don't know. I felt really drawn to the area. I mean, I was looking on a map, and then I started to drive around in the place. I had an explanation for it before, but now I'm really just starting to think like I was just the Sasquatch have a way of doing things to me, like guiding me and me not really knowing it. At least back in the day where I was not using empathic abilities, that I didn't know telepathy was a reality. So back in those days, they were guiding me, and I felt it was like intuition, and it wasn't. They were guiding me. They wanted me there, and then since I got there, um, they've been guiding me and put me in the spots that I have now. I've moved around. I actually go to 2 spots regularly now that are like 10 miles apart. It's kind of like spot A, spot B, and then everything in between. So the research area is enormous. So uh, yeah, it's absolutely enormous, the area that we cover. So a lot going on there. Back at you, Cheetah. Hello. You haven't met Kim, have you, James? I guess you guys are just talking. Infrasound. We talked about infrasound. 91 watching. Let's get 90. Oh, 91 watching. Let's get 91 thumbs up. Thanks, Kim. Kim, you're all full of vinegar and positivity today. I love it. They can use infrasound to calm people down. Happened to my friend Randy. What? Infrasound to calm someone down? Wow. I didn't even think that was possible. I don't know. Like, I know they'll kick your ass with infrasound. They'll knock me out with infrasound. Have they ever calmed anybody down with infrasound? Huh. I have to think about that. Wow, what a powerful statement. Calm people down with infrasound. Because infrasound hits the inner ear and causes you to be disorientated. How would they calm you down with that? I'll question that. Very interesting. Very possible, but very interesting. Put you to sleep, absolutely knock you out for sure. Um, Hi, Todd. Do they do anything specific in preparation for winter? I've noticed more tree breaks and X's plus new additions to their structure on my property. Thank you. Gina, what do you got going on there, girl? Bigfoot encounter at gmail.com, please. I would love to hear about it. Of course, they're going to do stuff in preparation. I mean, all the species are fattening up, right? Eating berries, putting on weight, preparing for the hard winter months. What would they do? Well, here's one thing I know they did in preparation, or just to keep the salmon, is in Randy Brisson took me to a spot where the salmon spawn, and the Sasquatch were literally taking the salmon, taking it up to altitude where it's cold, and wrapping them up in the permafrost. So you could say they do stuff like that. So I'm sure they do lots of other things. They're so brilliant. They're so intelligent. They're so innovative. They're so adapted to their environment. They're so exceptional. I just have nothing but admiration for this species. So, and it's been a huge thing, this new carnivore diet, in that they could just eat meat all winter and thrive, absolutely thrive. So, yeah. When are you going to go get some more videos of them, like the first documentary? I get that question all the time. Hey, Todd, Nova Scotia. I'll get videos when the videos come. How's that sound? So I'm not really worried about videos. Again, I feel like a broken record talking about this. Everyone's videos, 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 videos. It actually kind of bothers me. It's like I got lots of good videos. Who the hell has ever filmed them 10 freaking times like I have? And people, it's never good enough. Go enjoy the videos from before. I'm doing full-time research and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not in control here, right? I do the best I can. I go out there and do the work I can, and if it precipitates, it does, and if not, we're still getting incredible, amazing new results. What's a new video going to do? Who cares about it? I don't even care about a new video. I cared about the thermal because I wanted a new level of understanding. I wanted to kind of follow them around and that sort of thing. That's just not going to work with these drones. They're way too loud. It's just not realistic. But I don't want to have another story of the week. I want to get the discovery finished, and that's what we're working on, is the fundamentals to finish the discovery, to have somebody regularly sit down with the Sasquatch, and that's what we're working on. That's what we need. We don't need footage. So, or find potentially a deceased body or something. And there are ideas that have been expressed to me that are pretty amazing. So those are the kind of things I'm working on. Hello, Gina. You're from Perth, Ontario. Man, I'd love to hear about your stuff, Gina. So 2 ways to document your Bigfoot encounter. Thank you, Andy. Go to the website discoveringbigfoot.org. There's a link. So just if you want to document your discovery, follow those links that Andy put up. Kim was just talking up a storm here. I believe it may be specific to the area they're in. Kim has a significant amount of knowledge. She is thoroughly trained by me, and she has tremendous experience. Sure enjoyed having you out, Kim, and I'm excited to have you back. Do you think that the boom, can single out one person in a group and hit them with infrasound, or does it work like that? They did it to me once, where I was only with one other person, and the infrasound knocked me on my ass bad. Like I fell in a creek that I was walking across, like fell down in it. And the Sasquatch that was hitting me with the infrasound, if it was the one that we could see, he was far off. He was, 400 yards away, hitting me with infrasound, maybe less, maybe 300 yards away. But it wasn't hitting her, it was hitting me. And was it even infrasound? Was he just in my head knocking me on my ass? So I don't even know. They have such abilities. So so Ashley is on today. Ash K, the beautiful Ashley K. Let's see if I can make her a moderator. It just doesn't want to work. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Just can't get you moderating there, babe. Sorry. The Venom 52. Yeah, I'm discovering during your and Ash's live videos some of the incredible abilities of telepathy that they are capable of. I'm open to it, and it blew me away what I got on each show. Well, that's awesome, Venom 52. So wish I could make you a moderator. Damn it. I love reading your shared. I love reading your shared Venom 52. Thank you. It's fantastic. Ashley has her live shows on Thursdays usually. Thanks everyone for the thumbs up. That is fantastic. I appreciate it too. You deserve this great life, Todd. Thank you. Well, thanks, Paul. Yeah, I'm having so much fun. I'm so excited to have you on board, my friend. It's really going to be an awesome year. Um, Good to hear you have gratitude, good quality to have. Oh my God, like so grateful, like immensely grateful. I worked hard to get here. I made some major sacrifices. I look at some of the crazy crap that I used to do. Oh my God, when you're out in the wilderness with me and you see the stuff that I've done, you're like, man, you crazy. So in my youth, I just the stuff I used to do, but it was very inefficient and it wasn't precipitating well. It's not a good way. Like I won't let people that I'm training under me go do those things and make those mistakes that I made. It was like half the time I was just a cat chasing his tail. Hey Todd, yet another question. How can the younger generations get involved in discovering Sasquatch? Study primatology, study anthropology. In the faculty of biology, study anthropology. Biology is huge. Learning about the ecology. It's a biology thing. And then if you want to get even, imagine either specializing in the field of anthropology and psychology as a major, or biology and psychology. I say psychology because they talk about telepathy a lot. But get out in the wilderness, love your plants, learn about medicinal plants, you know, learn about your ecology, learn about the wildlife, and Sabe will come. You know, when the student is ready, the master will appear, and Sasquatch love interacting with people that also love the wilderness. So that's my show for today, guys. Younger generations are becoming involved with their advanced awareness, curiosity, and openness to learn. Thank you, Kim, for doing that. I'm not calling it's China Productions. And if I'm confusing anybody, that's Kim who's been on. Kim, we got to talk like next week, please, for sure. Maybe this week. I'd like to speak with you, please. So yeah, that's the show for today, guys. Um, uh, what's going on here? That's a good idea. But steeper. It's been mentioned several times by Todd. He's talking about Sasquatch, Ontario. Yeah. And yeah, look at this. Kim's talking to Gina. Yeah. Oh God, guys. And even there's also Facebook, the Discovering Bigfoot Facebook page. Lots of people, lots of my expeditioners are on there. So if you guys want to hook up on there too, that's kind of a place that's always around and in action. So um oh, see, I'll do this one. Bridget, because Bridget, you said you were going to come on the show today, and you did. So you asked about heat signatures. I'm kind of confused by your question. Heat signatures. Human beings don't see heat signatures. So you're talking about walking around with a thermal camera? So she says heat signatures, especially from above. I don't see heat signatures. I I'm kind of confused by that question. But why do people say Bigfoot must be cloaking or invisible? I'm not really concerned what people say. I don't see them cloaking, and I don't think they're invisible. They hide extremely well, but when it could be just above them. Well, and so you asked about looking up in your Facebook question. I look up. I look everywhere, but more to it. I feel my way along. You know, I feel the animals. I feel the ecology. I feel the life force energy of the forest around me, and so and I have a tremendous amount of experience where when you get into areas where there is old growth, there's space between the trees. The big trees will make space, and then you have the ability to look up. Whereas when you're in areas that have been previously logged within the last 50 years, even 70 years, which is a lot. In fact, most of the time now, because most of the areas have been logged in the last 70 years that I'm in, there is no looking up. There's no need to look up because the trees aren't big enough. They don't get big branches, and there's no spacing between them because they're close. And if something did go up that tree, you would see the damage to the branches as something would have climbed those trees. So it's just it's not really an issue. And if what other people are saying, I'm not really worried about it. I keep my eyes on everything around me. So and yeah, if Sasquatch want to show themselves, they'll show themselves. If they want to evade me, they'll evade me. I'll end the show by just saying They are so dominant over me when I'm in the wilderness at the level that I'm at. Remember, I've guided the best in the world. I've guided Survivor Man himself. I was Survivor Man's guide multiple times. And he appreciated my guidance and was very accepting of it and even was impressed with it. You could see that on the episodes of Survivor Man Bigfoot. As he said, you don't go into the backcountry wilderness. This was in 2013, right? A decade ago with me. You don't go into the backcountry wilderness unless you have a tremendous amount of backcountry wilderness experience. And they looked over at me. I do. I go into the backcountry wilderness. That was a decade ago. I know way more. I'm way more advanced. And I've literally got another 1,000 days in the wilderness. You think I haven't learned anything? I have. So I'm really next level. And even with that being said, though, just couldn't even. Sabe are so advanced, so intelligent. They're so above me that the problem is they're so high, they're reaching down and I'm reaching up and we're trying to connect. As far down as they can reach, as far as up as I can reach, we still aren't really getting it. That's how much I have to learn. And that goes for a lot of people. So thank you very much for tuning in today. Thoroughly enjoyed doing my show with you all. And I'll be back. And there'll be a show. There'll be a video up on Sunday. I'll be doing more videos, becoming more interactive now that expeditions are organized for next year and done from last year. So I've got a good equilibrium going on. So thank you very much for tuning in today. Y'all take care of yourselves. Bye for now. See you next time.